Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock and it's time for a Hidden Gems. This is where I take a trick that's relatively old and I bring it to your attention. I highlight it to you and let you guys know how good it is. And I've gone through several different tricks over the last few weeks and months. This one is one of my favorites. Now, this was, back in the day, probably the most popular packet trick of all time. Like, maybe about 10 or 15 years ago when this first got released, everybody was doing this. Unfortunately, as with everything that comes out, over time, people forget about it. They look for the latest and greatest thing, and they forget about all the stuff that's come out before that's super awesome. And this is a perfect example. I'm talking about Strangers... No, not. That's a totally different trick. I'm talking about Twisted Sisters by John Bannon. Strangers Gallery definitely deserves a Hidden Gems at some point in the future. It's John Bannon's colour-changing deck. But today, we're going to be looking at John Bannon's Twisted Sisters. Now, this is a 2-packet version of Brainwave. So basically, in essence, what happens is you bring out 2 packets of cards, and you have people think of a queen, and when they do, there's a really strong revelation. I'm going to do a performance for you in a minute. Now, a few years ago, John Bannon brought out a sequel to Twisted Sisters called Duality, which was the same basic plot, but without using gimmick cards. I have to be honest, I think that Twisted Sisters is better than Duality, and I think that using the gimmicks is not a problem, because the gimmicks allow for really clean displays where you don't have to do anything dodgy looking at all. The trick is about as close to self-working as you can get. There's a couple of Elmsley counts at the beginning of the routine, but you don't have to do the Elmsley counts. You can literally just go straight into this trick. It's super commercial, it's super practical, it's an instant reset, it fits into one little packet trick wallet and you're good to go. There's so many things to love about this. Now, if you haven't seen Twisted Sisters before, and you know what amazes me? There's a lot of new people that have come into Magic that have never heard of Twisted Sisters. I speak to people online and like, yeah, what's Twisted Sisters? I've never heard of it. So for everybody who hasn't seen Twisted Sisters, you're in for a treat. I'm going to perform it to Matt so you can see exactly what it is, exactly what it does, and then I'll talk about why it's so good. So here we go. Without further ado, here's a performance of Twisted Sisters by John Bannon.
Twisted Sisters?
Called Twisted Sisters. It's by a guy called John Bannon.
It's a band called Twisted Sisters.
This is a lawyer.
Oh, definitely not in a band.
Quite an old guy.
Quite an old...
But very, 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 very creative. One of the best magicians of all time. Never went pro. Didn't need to.
Also a lawyer.
And lawyer. Full-time solicitor or lawyer or something.
Is that why he didn't need to go pro?
Yeah. He has lots of money. He has all the money. But this is kind of a mind-reading thing. I have inside here. And it also needs you to have a fairly good imagination. So I have here 8 cards. Now, I have 4 blue cards and 4 red cards. And I'm going to tell you what they are in a minute. But the blue cards go over here. And the red cards go over here. Now, what I want you to do is I want to use your imagination. And I want you to imagine. Well, first of all, which packet would you like? Do you want the red packet or the blue packet? Whichever packet you have, Michael behind the camera is going to have the other packet.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have red. You okay with blue?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have red.
So I want you to imagine that in that red packet, there's 4 queens.
Okay.
Queen of clubs, queen of hearts, queen of spades, queen of diamonds. What I want you to do is mentally to yourself think of one of those queens. Don't say it, just mentally think of one.
Okay.
Have you got one?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to know what it is, but I want Michael to think of a different queen. So is your queen a red queen or a black queen?
Black.
Black. So can you think of a red queen in the hearts of diamonds? So you're thinking of red queen?
Yeah.
And that's your packet over here. And you're thinking of a black queen. That's your packet over here. So here's what is going to happen. Without knowing your queens, I'm going to make the queens change places in the packets of cards. So the queen you're thinking of in this packet is going to end up there, and the queen you're thinking of in this packet, Michael, will end up over there. Okay? Watch. Done. This was your packet, right?
Yeah.
Michael, what queen were you thinking of?
Diamonds.
Are you joking? I think I nailed that. I mean, I think that's pretty good, right? Queen of Diamonds turned face up in this packet. He was thinking of the Queen of Diamonds in that packet, and it turned face up in your packet. What was the queen you were What was the queen you were thinking of?
Spades.
You're joking. I mean, I nailed that one as
What
well.
the hell?
But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, hang on a minute. Craig didn't really do that. Craig didn't really make the queens jump across. You know, they were just there and all I did was flip them over. No, they really did jump across. And I know this because this queen of spades, this has got a red back. It proves it came from this packet. And this queen of diamonds has got a blue back. It proves it came from this packet. And you know what? I'm so glad that you guys picked the spades and the diamonds. You know why?
Why?
Because they were the only two queens in the packet, to be honest, guys. The only two queens that you guys picked are the...
Oh my god!
were the ones that turned over. So, you know, that's fortunate.
What? No way. That's epic.
So, if there's any trick that deserves the title of a hidden gem, that's it. And I never thought, if you told me 10 years ago, when everybody was raving about Twisted Sisters, that this would become a hidden gem, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But it just shows that as a community, we're looking for that latest and greatest thing, and we forget about the stuff that came out years and years and years ago, even though that's normally stronger than a lot of the stuff that's come out today. So, the one question that you guys are going to have, maybe, if you haven't seen it before, is the examinability. Now, it's not examinable, but it doesn't need to be. The reason it doesn't need to be examinable is because nobody ever wants to look at the cards. Everything seems so clear. Everything seems so direct. The routine is so well constructed that they don't feel like they want to examine anything. And you'll probably have noticed in the performance at the end, I kind of pushed the jokers towards Matt. And the reason I pushed the jokers towards Matt is because the jokers can be examined. And you'll tend to find that when you're performing this routine, it's the jokers that people want to look at, because that's the impossible moment. The impossible moment is when there's no other queens other than the queens that they named, and the jokers are there out of nowhere, and the displays on the queens were so clean, it doesn't look like anything could be dodgy about it. But think about the positives of this routine. It's instantly reset. It just fits into one small packet trick wallet. You're ready to go anytime, anywhere. There are so many positives with this trick. It is a super awesome trick. It really is. It fits into your pocket. You saw me do it on a table here, but you don't need a table. You can do it into the spectator's hands. If you don't want to do the Armsley count at the beginning, you don't have to. You can skip the Armsley count, and it doesn't change the power of the routine. It's just really, really good. So, it's still available from all good magic dealers. If you haven't ever picked up a copy of Twisted Sisters, you really, really should. It's one of the best tricks that John Bannon's ever created, and we're talking about one of the greatest creators of magic of all time. So that kind of says something, right? So, this week's Hidden Gems, Twisted Sisters. There you go, guys. That's another Hidden Gems in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, you know what you've got to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow on Thursday with a stack load of more videos. And also, please don't forget, if you haven't already done so, go check out the Nettrix. It's www.thenettrix.com. You can go and check it out now. Try it out for a month. If you've ever thought to yourself, how can I support Craig? I get a lot of people asking that. Just go check out the Nettrix and see what you think. I'll be back again soon. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Craig for Magic TV.